Early on in this match, chaos hits, the manager loses control, I bring the captains in, I try to reset and regain respect after half time, but then something big happens in the second half. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Whistle. My name's Eric, I'm an amateur referee here in England. I've been refereeing for just under 2 years and I'm trying to become a professional. Today's match is the highest level I have ever officiated. We are refereeing Long Levens versus Slimbridge in the Gloucestershire County Cup. Both these teams play in the Hellenic Premier Division, Step 5 of English football, and Slimbridge are currently sitting top of the league whilst Long Levens are sitting in 5th. The game teeters on the edge and there's nearly a full-blown fight. Can I slow everything down? Can I deliver my cards correctly? And can I get a hold of this very difficult match? If you've not been here before, my name's Eric and I take you in the day in the life of what it's like to be a grassroots referee. I review all the matches that I do and show you every big decision in the game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I share with you what we learn along the way. This game had everything, honestly everything. You're going to see things that happen in this game that you've never seen in your life. I can promise you that. So without further ado, let's just jump straight in. So again, we've got assistants. What a feeling. Do, 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 do. You've all seen the Gaviscon advert otherwise, or you might just know the song anyway. That's fine as well. But yeah, we got assistants. What a great feeling. It makes me feel 10 times better when I'm going out onto the pitch and I've got assistant referees with me. Pull the captains in, go through the regular pre-match chat. I do hardly any pre-match chat. I say, hi lads, my name's Eric. Eric or ref, good with that. Enjoy the game. If for whatever reason it's a draw, this will go straight to penalties. All I'm going to say is, if any of your lads start to get on my back, if you boys can intervene before I have to, then we don't have to dish out any silly sin bins, okay? Enjoy the game. That's it. Then I'll do the coin toss to pick a side and kick off, and then, yeah, we're good to go. So we check that both our assistants are ready, and we start the watches, and off we go. Like I said last week, there's a new trend in football, and that is to lump the ball into the far corner. Again, this was probably a foul on green, but what's the benefit? We'll just give the goal kick and, yeah, carry on. And then very early on, less than 2 minutes into the game, we have a handball decision to make in the penalty area. So the 11 goes driving in, he drives the ball across, it hits the green player in the arm. There can soft shouts for handball in my opinion, and we wave it away. As we've covered in probably every single video we've ever done on the channel, when it comes to handball, there's only 2 things that matter. 1, is it deliberate? And 2, does it make their body unnaturally bigger? Okay, so it's got to hit their hand or their arm. It has to be deliberate, or it has to make their body unnaturally bigger. In this situation, the defender's got his arm right close into his body. He absolutely does not move it towards the ball, and so that is never a handball offence for me. Play on. And then a minute after that, we obviously get this goal kick. The ball goes out of play, and you'll see the assistant ref correctly signal for the throw-in, and then look what happens. His flag's gone. What an absolute nightmare. We notice, so we stop play, and upon checking the flag, I thought, oh, the flag's just fallen off the stick or whatever. And as we get there, we find out that the flag is in fact just broken. A few things are going through my mind. One is, thank God I brought a spare set of flags. I always bring a spare set, just on the basis that something like this happens. And that assistant ref had the key to the changing rooms. So I said, run in my bag, there's a flag, grab it, come out. Another alternative to this, so that we didn't need to stop play, would have been for the assistant to literally just use the flag. So rather than actually use the pole that the flag's attached to, sack that off, put it on the floor, just use the flag, we'll sort it out at half time. I didn't have the presence of mind of that in the moment. My mentor told me that tip, and I think that would have been a better decision. So we didn't have to stop play for a minute. But in the end, it was only about 50 seconds. It wasn't too long, but yeah, we could have probably just carried on with the flag. But have you ever seen the Linos flag break like that? I haven't. First time. Anyway, as the assistant ref's obviously in the changing rooms now getting his flag, I take the opportunity to try and build rapport with this player here. We're basically just having a chat, having a laugh. He's like, "You're that ref off TikTok, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, mate. But as long as you don't do anything silly, you won't be on it." And we had a good laugh. It's worth noting actually that this pitch was soft. So there was a pitch inspection in the morning. The secretary of Long Levens emailed me to basically say the pitch is good to go. It's very soft, but it's playable. And he was right. It was very soft, but it was playable. So I'll chuck in a couple clips to show you how soft it was. You'll see the ball doesn't really bounce that much. And so getting around the pitch felt a lot harder than usual. Right, your footing just, I feel like it takes an extra like 10-15% effort to be running when it's super muddy. But yeah, very, very soft. If you remember a few weeks ago, John Busby came to do a talk at one of my local referee associations and we spoke about safe refereeing, and it's something I've been trying to adopt. But I didn't adopt it here. Reason being is, as they've challenged for the ball, I really thought it was shoulder to shoulder. And watching it back, I still don't think it's a foul. And then we have another decision as the striker gets a little clip, but doesn't go to ground. It's not enough contact for a foul. And then the red player makes the tackle and we give a corner. And obviously, the team in red, their bench, I've just given a soft foul against them, and I've not given it here. So big learning point for me is the safest thing to do here would have been given the foul, especially as the contact wasn't quite shoulder to shoulder and I wasn't certain in the moment that it was. I just thought it was. I don't think it's a foul, honestly, actually watching it. I really don't. But I know a lot of people say the safest thing to do is give the free kick, especially because I gave that one literally, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds beforehand. Didn't give that foul there. Something to note here is, with this being my first game at this sort of level, there are a lot of things running through my mind. Maybe too many things. And it means that other parts of my game that are usually second nature have kind of like dipped a little bit. Take this signal, for example, right? I'm given the free kick, but I'm parallel to the halfway line, not parallel to the touch line. And so I just need to get into the habit of being more a showman. I don't know what the right word is, but you know, these signals and stuff, my mentor calls it panache. I need a bit more panache, you know? That signal is lazy. It's not in the right direction. And I know everybody knows what's happening, but yeah, I'm not happy with that. And then we get this challenge. So the keeper lumps the ball long, and this lad flicks his leg up and kicks the green player in the face. First thing we do, obviously, is call the physio on so he can get treatment. And it was clear from my angle that the contact was with his boot into the face. We're about 12, 13 minutes in at this point, and we have a decision to make. So I explained to the lad, look, mate, you've made contact with his head with your boot. There's not enough force for me for it to be a red card. And he's like, what, a red? Is that even a consideration? I'm like, yes, mate, yes. But you've made contact with his head. I think that's dangerous play. And so it's going to be a yellow card. Now, you'll hear that the benches don't agree once I give the yellow card. And then I hear this, and so we deal with it. What do you guys think? Do you think this is dangerous play? Do you think this is reckless play? What do you think? You'll hear them saying that he drops his head down to his foot. That's not really how I saw it, and I had a really great view of it as well. I'm looking right at it, and for me, as that ball comes in, the lad clears the ball with his head, and then he flicks his foot back like this and kicks him in the head. His head is not that low. It's like I don't know, what is that? That's probably at like by the ribs, by the shoulder even. So for me, this is not a case of a player ducking his head down so the player in red can't play safely. I think this is dangerous play, reckless play, whichever one you want to pick. So for me, it was a simple yellow card for me. Oh, we get bloody hit by the ball. What a nightmare. So they play it out wide, and I'm thinking, here we go. He cuts in. I'm thinking, great, he's going to hit a big switch. I'll turn my back. I'll make my way over there. That doesn't happen. He doesn't clip it over my head. He drills it straight at me. To be honest, I probably did him a favour because that's probably going to go to a player in green. When you're hit by the ball, if the ball changes possession, then you need to restart with a drop ball to the team that had possession before it hit you. So we give this foul here. I was explaining to the captain at some point that there's a bit of holding first and then he goes down. They were starting to get a bit annoyed with the fouls that I was giving, and maybe those fouls are a little bit soft for this level. Maybe it's more a physical game usually. That's not really what I've experienced being on the line at this level. I feel like I was kind of matching the tolerance that would typically be given, but maybe with two teams near the top of the table, maybe that's different. So I do need to have a think about that. But I was explaining, look, on a dry pitch, the amount of contact it's going to take for a player to go down is going to be more than on a really slippy pitch. So the conditions for me do play a part in the fouls, because if you give someone a nudge, it's going to knock them off balance a lot easier on a muddy pitch than it is a nice pristine AstroTurf, for example. I don't know if that's the right thought process, but that's the thought process I had. And so for me, the tolerance of contact is lower on a pitch like this because the impact is higher. I hope that makes sense. And let me know what you guys think, if you're along the same lines or not. And then we get this situation, super interesting. You'll see the bench are pretty upset about it. They're pretty upset with the lino, saying that it was outside the box. Why have I given a foul here? I've given the foul because I believe the goalkeeper was in control of the ball when the number 9 kicked it out of his hands. So you'll see that it says in the laws of the games under field markings that the field of play must be rectangular and marked with continuous lines which must not be dangerous, blah, 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 blah. These lines belong to the areas of which they are boundaries. So what that means is the lines encompass the area itself. So to be inside the penalty area, you just need to be touching the line of the penalty area or within the boundaries of the penalty area. To be in the opponent's half, you need to have your foot on the halfway line or be past it. So the line is part of the area. So because any part of that ball is on the line when the goalkeeper handles it, that's within the penalty area of the goalkeeper. And so that's why I've given a foul. Well, how do we determine if the goalkeeper's got control of the ball? So you'll see in law, it says a goalkeeper is considered to be in control of the ball with their hand or arms when the ball is between their hands and arms or between their hands or arms and any surface, e.g. the ground or their own body. So the goalkeeper basically has to have 2 points of contact with the ball, either their hand and the floor, both their hands, etc., etc. For me, the goalkeeper's got the ball in both his hands, it's on the line, and so he's in control of the ball within his own penalty area. And that is why this is a free kick. This is an interesting one. Watching this back, I'm more inclined to give a yellow card for stopping a promising attack here. In the moment, I didn't think it was because he was going sideways. However, if he beats this player here, I think it's probably going to be a 2v1 looking at it again. You think he beats this player, it's going to be him, and they're going to have an opportunity to basically drive through. At best, it's going to be a 2v2 if this number 6 recovers here. However, it's likely that these two are going to be against the fullback. I think this should probably be a yellow card for stopping a promising attack, but I am not 100% certain. In the moment, I didn't think it was, but let me know what you guys think. That's half time. Difficult first half, right? We've had a caution for that kick to the face. We've then had to caution one of the coaches for his outburst, and the game's just been a little bit bitty here and there. During half time, before we come out and start the second half, I have an opportunity to chat to a couple of the players in red who are obviously leading the match at half time to try and basically lower the temperature a little bit. So I try and reset the tone before half time, but it's not all plain sailing. So as a referee, you want to be proactive, right? Again, I'm always trying to make an effort of improving my positioning and being in a better position on the pitch throughout the game. So as that ball comes in, at this point, I realise that there's a potential overload on that right-hand side. You'll see that this player here has got a real opportunity to drive into here, and this player here has got an opportunity just to thread that pass into here. If that happens, we obviously really need to work hard to get an angle on what's about to happen. And so that's why I start going to break a run around here, because I need to have that angle if he plays that pass. So I'm trying to be proactive. It doesn't happen that way. They don't actually play it out wide. They play it back inside. And so I get a little bit caught up, but thankfully the ball's cleared well and we're back out and we're right on top of play again. Number 16 makes this tackle. Again, it is a tackle. You'll hear people saying he can't pick it up, but this is never a pass back. A pass back has to be a deliberate pass to the goalkeeper. He's tackled the ball, and just by the way the tackle has gone, it's gone to the goalkeeper. It's not a deliberate pass to the goalkeeper. We get some holding here on the attack, but I don't really see it, and he plays it, so we let play run. Probably would have just been better if I shouted advantage. It would have looked a lot better, but I honestly didn't see any foul. And sometimes when you shout advantage when there's not been a foul, can really pee the player off that has supposedly fouled the other player, because he's like, why are you playing advantage? I didn't even foul him. So I wasn't certain there'd been a foul here, so I didn't shout advantage, although it would have looked a lot better if I did. So always expect the unexpected as a referee. This player receives the ball, and the safest thing for this player to do is obviously just to lump it up the line. He tries to do that, but this player closes him down, and now I've got a really quick turnover, and so we've got to make a real effort to get back into play and get an angle on it. From here, I'm a little bit further away from where I would like to be. However, the angle is more important than the proximity. I've heard this saying that angle is accuracy and proximity is credibility. So the better angle you've got, the more accurate of a decision you're able to make. And the closer you are, the more credible you are, the more the players will respect the decision because you're right there on top of it. In this situation, I was never going to get close enough to play to be insanely credible. So my only thought process in this moment was just run as far left as possible so you can get an angle on what happens, and at least then I can make a decent decision if there's one that needs to be made. Thankfully, there isn't. I hope that thought process kind of makes sense to you guys. So even watching this clip again, I still didn't see what happened because I was watching the bloody ball. A new thing that's starting to pop up more and more is to have that kind of trailing eye, to be watching things even after the ball has gone. So in this situation, the ball's been played down the line and these two players have a coming together here. There's lots of shouts about an elbow in the back. They've just both tried to push each other and the lad in green's a bit stronger. But you do need to look for these sort of things because things happen off the ball can really impact match control if they're not dealt with properly. And then we get a yellow card here. It's pretty blatant why. He just completely blocks him off. He knows exactly what's happening. In this situation, I pull the yellow card out straight away so everybody knows what's about to happen. I asked the lad if he's okay. I said, yeah, all good, up we get then. And he comes over to apologise, so I know there's no hostility here. So we deal with the caution. One thing to note here, though, is typically, if you're going to caution a player that's just committed a foul that could potentially upset people, do not bring them back over towards the benches like I did. This is a terrible idea and something I didn't think of until one of the assistants brought it up at full time. Now, I brought the yellow card out straight away, so I do think that diffused the situation. There was no risk of anything boiling over here in front of the benches. However, best practice here would be not bringing the player back in towards the benches. Unnecessary grief, potentially. Now, you may hear me after the foul, I say, Shutty, come here, come here. The reason I say that is because that's what the teammates were calling him on the pitch. Again, by using the names of players, the terminology that players are using, it allows you to build rapport with players. So rather than me shouting him by his first name and saying, come here, I've used the name that everybody else is using, come here, and it shows that, oh, this ref knows who we are, he knows the players' names, etc, etc. And I try and do as much as I can. I always use the goalkeepers' names, they're easy to remember, the captains' names, and then I'll pick up names throughout the game like here and try my best to use them. The lad on the floor said that's GBH, and so we have a little laugh and we deliver the yellow card. We give this foul against Red. You can see that his shirt's basically coming off. So this is an example of holding. It's impeding the lad's ability to move. So that's a holding offence. Unfortunately, the pole gets in the way of this. So the goalkeeper gets across, he pats it down, and then he's dribbling away. And just off the pole, you'll see that he picks the ball up and the lad kicks it out of his hands. I signal that the free kick is that way for the goalkeeper and we go in to have a chat. Now, we obviously had the reverse thing happen in the first half, and so we discuss it here. I basically say, mate, be careful. I then talk to the goalkeeper and explain, look, mate, you're completely within your rights to run down the clock when the ball's not in your hands. Just be careful. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you had the ball in your hands, but you really run the risk of, one, getting yourself hurt, and two, losing the ball. So let's be sensible. Now, I was a goalkeeper. I played both professionally and in non-league. And so I know exactly what the keeper's up to, and I respect it. It's part of the game. Ultimately, the striker's within his rights to challenge for that ball if you've not yet got it in your hands. And so don't bait them in too much. Okay, you'll see here as that ball's coming in and challenging, you'll hear me say hands down. Good lads, good lads. I'm always trying to talk out loud to the players, and it's so hard for the camera to pick up what I'm saying in games, but I'm always trying to talk to players, especially in situations like this where you get a lot of holding, a lot of pushing, shoving. By me saying hands down, one, it instructs the players to put their bloody hands down, which some of them do sometimes. But two, it means if there is a push or a pull, it adds to my credibility because I've set the decision up, right? If I say hands down, someone pushes someone, bam, free kick. Everyone's gonna be like, well, he did say put your hands down. Whereas if you just give a decision without talking at all and not setting expectations, it can almost be a bit like whiplash to the players. So that's why I'm talking through hands down in that sort of situation. I think if this foul, clear foul, right? He kicks him. It's quite loud, that, isn't it? You hear it on the camera. Do you think this should have been a yellow card for reckless? I think it's close. There's not much shouts for it. I asked the lad if he's okay. He seemed fine. I think this was okay to go without a yellow card. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's reckless? I think it's close. And then we get probably what's the most complicated decision of the match. So, penalty. We give a penalty. For me, the penalty is simple. The penalty is clear. The lad has taken the touch around the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's clattered him. Penalty. No card. It's not reckless. No dog zone, so it doesn't get downgraded to yellow. And you can't have stopping a promising attack in the box because if there's a genuine attempt to play the ball, then it comes down to nothing. Right, it gets downgraded to nothing. So for me, this is no card. Where it gets a little bit difficult is with the benches. As this ball gets played in, you'll notice that this player out on the left who makes that run through the midfield is offside. So you'll see that this player here is offside. The assistant referee instinctively puts his flag up because he's in offside position. And it is so incredibly difficult to gauge the depth of the football from the side of the pitch. Now, if we had comms, you'd be able to say, delay, wait, but we don't, okay? And so the assistant makes a decision, he puts his flag up, and as soon as he realises it's not right, he drops his flag, and the player that receives the ball comes from an onside position. Naturally, the bench are like, Lino, you've put your flag up, they've all stopped. The players didn't stop. It's up for maybe a quarter of a second. And so they say, like, have a word with your Lino, have a word with your Lino. I didn't actually see the flag at all. I was focused on play. I didn't see the flag at all. And when I go over, I say, mate, don't worry about it. It's a penalty. So be it. I don't condone lying to players, but there's sometimes where it can help you, okay? Red team are 2-0 up. The green team are getting more and more frustrated that they're behind and time is running out. As I'm walking back, the green captain comes up to me and is like, ref, clearly onside. I'm like, yeah, I know, mate. I was like, but the lino put his flag up, but I carried on playing, okay? Because I knew it wasn't. Now, I didn't know he put the flag up, but by me telling the team in green that I saw him put his flag up, he's gone, yeah, that's good refereeing, to be fair, thank you. Right, brilliant, now we've built rapport with the green team. Now we've got rapport with the teams and it helps your game get easier. So, I don't condone lying, but there are times where you can be a bit smart to help build the relationship on the pitch. And then shortly after the missed penalty, the green team get one back. Now at this point, they've got one back. There's not long left. Things start going through my mind, okay? 2-0 is a very different scoreline to 2-1 with just a couple minutes left on the clock. So what's going to happen? The red team will try and break up play as much as humanly possible. 2, the team in green are desperate for a goal, so they are going to throw people forward. We might see some more long balls, etc, etc. And 3, the temperature of the game is 100% going to rise. Now, with this being my first ever game refereeing 2-step 5 teams, and, you know, albeit 2 teams at the top, near the top of the table, I was really mindful to try and get a hold of the game. And with that being said, this happens right before full time. So we get the throw in. The player who committed a foul as soon as it came on is nearly late. And then we get this little scuffle off of the ball. So we've got to deal with it. Like the bench said, deal with it properly. So the ball's gone out of play. They're all saying how late is that, how late is that. There's not actually a foul here. So I'm thinking about what I've seen, So I take some time by calling the red captain in. I've already got the green captain in. And then we get this green number 15 in here, and I'm telling him to move away, as obviously he's not part of the chat. I've already decided at this point what I'm doing. I say to him, I haven't seen what's happened in the first place. All I've seen is your retaliation. So you're getting a yellow card. Be sensible. There's not long left in the game. And so that's it. The reason it's not a yellow both ways, like the Long Levens coach is asking, is because I didn't see a yellow card offence from the green player. It's as simple as that, really. If I saw something and believed it would have been a second yellow, I'd have dished it out. All I saw was the reaction from the player in red. And from watching it back, I'm not sure player in green is deserved of a yellow anyway. So yeah, that's why it's not a yellow both ways and why I just gave a yellow card to the player in red. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is full time. A tough game and a tough end to the game, but ultimately we got through it. I don't know about you, but watching it back, I feel like we managed the game okay, right? It was by no means a perfect performance. I don't think there's any such thing, but I felt like I managed it well. We had handshakes from all the players, all the staff, which was great. And so yeah, ultimately I'm happy with the performance. Next video is going to be after Christmas, towards the start of the new year, and it is a big one. It is my final assessment from level 5 to level 4. Thank you so much for the support, and Merry Christmas.